As wise as Rafiki once said,
It is time.
we now know every card that is in set 8 of Lorcana, the Reign of Jafar. But what cards, in my opinion, are the best of the best? It's time for the Reign of Jafar tier list. Welcome to another video. I'm TheXploder, and today it is time to tier the list of shiny cardboard. Who doesn't love that? We are a little bit of ways from the release of Reign of Jafar, or you might be watching this after the release of Reign of Jafar. I want to get an idea of someone's opinions on some of the cards to look out for. Bearing in mind, when we go into this tier list, I will be mostly looking at this from a core constructive mindset. So I will be looking at this from competitive viability for core constructed with my personal opinions as to why. I may give my thoughts as to why they will be good in other formats, especially with sealed and drafting, but outside of that, I'll be trying my best to keep with a core constructed mindset. Vibes may play into the scheme of things, but I'll try to be as objective as I possibly can. But if I can't be objective for any freaking reason, I will be saying why. With that being said, let's go over to the tier list and break some things down. First things first, here we are on Tier Maker with the tier list that I have constructed for you guys. And if you want to build a tier list yourself as I'm going along with mine, there is a link to the draft version down in the description below so that you can just play along. But effectively, we have it split up into a few different tiers. We have S tier or insane, A tier or super nice, B for brilliant, C for it's alright, like D for mid, E for not vibing with it, and F for stinky. As well as a separate area for vanilla cards, because at least in my opinion, when it comes to judging cards' viabilities, vanillas are very hard, but if I do say certain vanillas are better than others, it might be because I just favour the characters more, or I might place them higher up on the list because of their sealed or draft viability. To couple alongside making this tier list, I will also be referring to some of the cards using lorcanaplayer.com. I will be using this website that has every single card in the set to remind myself, if I do not know off of my head canon, what these cards specifically are, so I can get a better opinion going into things. With all that being said, feel free to watch this video in the background or to just have it in the background and listen along for the ride as we begin the Tier 8 tier list. Tier 8? It's set 8. So many tiers. Anyway, getting things started, we have the first duck of the set. It is Louis, one cool duck. And while this card is being challenged, the challenging character gets a -1 attack. I quite like it, the fact that he quests for 2 as well, and it synergizes quite well with what the ducks want to do in this set. I rate it quite well. I think it's better than alright. And I think, but being strict, no, you know what? Having -1 attack attacking it, that means you do need 4 to get rid of it if you are going to pop it. It does quest for 2. I think it's a brilliant duck. I'm actually going to put it straight there. Solid place. The Mirabelle. So this is the Mirabelle that has the effect where if you reveal a song card in your hand at the start of your turn, you gain a lore. I think she's actually insane. I think she's actually insane. Bit of a spicy take on that one, maybe. My reason being, if you're about to win the game and your opponent does not get rid of this Mirabelle or just sleeps on it, you just casually gain a lore on your turn with a song in your hand. Amber Steel players may want to run this. I quite like it. I rate it quite highly. Next one, the lady. I think this lady's going to go straight into super nice. Anything involving churner dogs. You guys are eating so well because of churner dogs. Churner dogs have so much support in this thing. John Deere, the bodyguard. I'm not vibing. I'll be very strict. There is something to be done with bodyguards in this game, but if I'm trying to stay as strict to core constructed meta level as best as I can, no. It's not the best bodyguard in the set by any means. There are better ones. Gene, stinky. I'm just very biased about Gene. I just find him stinky. I really don't like him. I'm sorry. Perdita. Now, this is the Perdita that gains 1 willpower for every puppy you have out. I think at best she's mid. I don't think you really run this Perdita in puppies per se. If you end up pulling a bunch of puppy cards for, let's say, draft or sealed or pack rush, I think she'll be better just as your 2-drop to and just have a solid body out on the board, but she doesn't even quest for 2. She doesn't bop hard. She's just there to become a really thick mum, basically. And yeah, it's mid. What can I say? It's mid. Now, this one, most everyone's mad here. This is one of the first ones where I will need to remind myself. There we go. Most everyone's mad here, which is gain lore equal to the damage on chosen character, then banish them. Part of me wants to say it's good because of the specific decks you could put this in. So you could put this in any deck involving Maui Halfshark, because then Maui Halfshark, upon activating the action, you'll gain 1 lore regardless. Even if you put it on the Halfshark himself, and he's on like 4 damage with his 5 willpower, that 4 damage then turns into 4 lore, and this action alone will give you 5 with Halfshark, meaning that could potentially win the game. But it's a very, very tight way of doing things, and would you play this over Pirate's Life? But for its uninkability, and it's basically on the same level as Be Prepared. I don't know. It's only on chosen character. I would say it's more viable if it was you gain lore equal to the damage on all characters that you have on your side of the board, which can be kind of nuts, but that's why it's uninkable, right? But yet again, that might be uninkable 8, uninkable 9 if you had an effect that crazy. Then banish everything as like a last minute, oh, I'm gonna win, you know? That could be quirky, but I don't know. I think with its limitations, I think it's alright. I think it's slightly better than mid, but I only think it's going to be alright. In hyper-specific decks, you could run it, but there are better options. Rhino. Good question on Rhino. I need to remind myself of that one as well. This is a 1-drop Rhino that has 1/16th Wolf. I do like the name of him. I think the name of him's absolutely on point. When you play this character, choose an opposing character against -1 attack until the start of your next turn. It's a really good minus attacker if that's the direction you're taking with your deck, but for meta viability, not vibing. I'm just not vibing with Rhino at all. I think Rhino is probably a fantastic run drop for sealed formats. For competitive, I think there are better things to have as your 1-drop over Rhino, at least in my opinion. Jane Deere. There are quite a few cards I'm going to be checking, but this is why we are doing it this way. Darling Deer, sorry, not Jane Deere. Don't know why I wanted to call her Jane. She looks like a Jane, apparently. 5 cost inkable 4/4. When you play this character, chosen character gets +2. I mean, it's the increased cost version of Amber Chip. It's the increased cost version of Amber Donald, and it gives +2 instead of +1. It does turn into a 4/4 body, which is nice in Amber, but outside of just doing that one thing, it can be a playmaker, and it can win you the game. And I think in Sealed and Draft, when you're not probably going to run a load of high-cost cards, solid. I think as a splash tech, it could be interesting, but I think she's mid. I definitely think she's in the mid-range. I can't put her anything higher. Colonel, I like. I think Colonel's brilliant. If not super... You know what? I think Colonel's super nice. Specifically in Churner Dogs, I think Colonel just wipes the board of anything crazy good. Now, Chief Bogo. This Chief Bogo is very interesting. I'm going to get the ability up before we put him anywhere, because I think it's important to talk about what Bogo does. So this is Chief Bogo, Commanding Officer, one of the legendaries in Amber. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters with Bodyguard is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character that costs 5 or less, you play that character for free. Otherwise, put it on the top of your deck. So, there's something to be said with this and Bodyguards. And it obviously reacts when a Bodyguard gets banished. There are some cards that work really nicely with this, but I think makes it a lot more viable. There are also some Bodyguards in this set that don't have the strongest willpower that can trigger this Bogo quite reliably. So in some gimmicky decks, I think this Bogo is quite nice. But thinking of core constructed, Mid. I have to be very, very strict with myself on that one. As a person that likes making quirky decks, I want to put BOGO higher. I don't think so. I don't think I can logically put BOGO higher than mid if we're thinking about core constructed. The new Pua. I need to remind myself of that one. There's over 200 cards to remember, so there's a lot to go over. Amber Amethyst Pua. Hey, a bodyguard. This is a perfect target if you want one. When this character's banished, you may draw a card. Hey, pretty darn great. I don't think Pua's bad. The color combination doesn't necessarily need a bodyguard, I don't know, but card draw's nice. In a hyper aggro, when you just want to do it, I guess it's cool. I think I'd say it's alright. Thinking strictly for the hyper aggro players, if you want to splash in an inkable bodyguard, I think it's perfectly fine. If it leaves the board, you draw a card. If you are making the quirky deck with BOGO, absolutely, it's a consideration, but probably better color combinations like Amber and Steel if you want to do that, in all honesty. But it's okay. Then we have Dewey, a vanilla 4-4 for 4. He's going to go into the vanillas for obvious reasons, but I like it. It's a duck. Bruno. The dual color Bruno Madrigal. Gotta make sure we get the right one here. There he is, the singing seer. Shift 5. Whenever this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each character you have in play. A 3/7 for 2. Shift 5. I mean, the song decks aren't really going to do it. This is a very Madrigal song specific card. For that logic, I think I'm not vibing him. I think in a competitive nature, no. You're just better running Amber Steel Song this side of the looming rotation, as we all know. But I don't know. I don't like that Bruno too much. This car, however, is super nice. Oh, I'm borderline. You know what? Let me double check. Let me double check one thing. I feel like this card could be higher on my list, but effectively, a 4-cost 3/3 for 2. Whenever he quests chosen opposing character gets -2 attack and gains Reckless. I quite like him. I think he's really darn solid. I think he creates some very interesting board scenarios. And I just think he'll be really solid. There's an Amber Emerald deck that's going to love him. And if he's played in Churner Dogs, it's actually not that bad because he can make like a Quester for 2, gain Reckless and have -2, which could be quite good. It can also hit anything like your Maui Sharks to make them worse off and to give them Reckless as well. Works well in the BOGO deck if you're going to run Bodyguards with Emerald for some quirky tech plays here. I quite like him, but I think I have to be honest. Super nice would be because of vibes. Logic dictates I think I can only put him in Brilliant. Because although I see him as Brilliant and he'll be a nice splash tech for Churner Dogs, does Churner Dogs want to run a car? Maybe not. So, but I think it's a really quirky tech to have in there regardless. So I think he's definitely of a Brilliant level for me. Next, who do we have? The new Tramp. I think this new Tramp's actually solid for Churner Dogs. Gonna go straight to super nice. Again, Churner Dogs are just eating really well. This King Candy. Oh, yes. Super nice to have this King Candy in races. Finally making it happen. Same with the Ralph. The Ralph helps a little bit heavy on the top end, so I might have to actually bring him down to Brilliant. But I like him. I like his effect. I think that he can be a little bit too costly at times. But for what you want him to do in the deck, he's very, very good. This patch, for me, insane. I think the patch for puppies is probably one of the greatest puppies you'll ever have. And I personally think is a staple for puppy decks moving forward. Doesn't matter what format you play him in. If you pull him in sealed or draft, you want to make sure you have enough puppies to back him up. You do have Tailwagger in this set, so by all means, you may be able to pull a couple. But don't worry about it so much for sealed and draft picks, but for puppy decks in general, when we get to the competitive level, mega viable, hugely important. Definitely run your patches. This Rolly, on the other hand, mid. I love Rolly. He's a spirit animal to me because he's always hungry and so am I. but I can't rate him any higher than mid. His effects just, yeah, in all fairness. Perdita, I believe this is for Perdita that... Does she put a card into your inkwell? I need to remind myself. It's Determined Mother. Shift 446 for 2. Play this character, put all puppy character cards from your discard into your inkwell face down exerted. Works immediately with the Pongo. I think it's, for what puppies want, it's brilliant. There's a part of me that can't put it any higher than it's alright. Personally. I don't know if you're going to be playing enough Perditas, or enough, like, viable shift target Perditas, I should say, to warrant making this one work and still have a number of puppies viable to you. So, I can't put her any higher. This Pluto I quite like. This Pluto I quite like a lot, but I think he's only going to be alright. He's very specific in his color combinations, does require damage to be removed from him, but you know what? I think he's alright. This Bolt I think is brilliant. I think that Bolt will definitely see play in some way or form. I mean, he quests for 4. How could he not be good? You know? Ooh! New Doc Boy. Is it Huey, Dewey, or Louie? I think this is Huey. Because when they presented them, they were in the opposite order. Yes, here we go, Huey. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. Great for ducks. Really great for ducks. Has the same effect as a Pluto, but actually has a body on him. I think I'm going to put him at the same level as Louis. I think he's actually brilliant. I think he's super solid. Yes, he's uninkable, but that's because of his effect, right? He's got a decent body on him. I think he's absolutely fine. I think he's brilliant for what he does. This Rhino. Now, hear me out. This Rhino I also think is brilliant. Simply because... even though I'm not vibing with the 1-drop, this one quests for 2, and as long as he has no damage on him, has resist 2, and that makes him a 4/3 with resist 2. Actually pretty damn good, and I think in Sealed and Draft you're going to go crazy for him. He has some competitive viability if you're going to work with this deck. I quite like him. I personally think he's brilliant. The kitty I think is stinky. I don't think the kitty is very good. But here we get to some really quirky stuff. Pull the lever. You either draw 2 cards or your opponent chooses and discards a card. It's alright. I think we're going to put pull the lever and... where's wrong lever on this list while I'm here? Because I think they need to be, at least in my opinion, need to be in the same spot. And I'm going to explain why. So, seriously, where is it? It's here, among the colours. All the colours of the rainbow. It'll be here somewhere. You guys can probably see it, and I'm probably going insane, going, where are you? No. Oh yeah, there it is. Wrong lever's just in Emerald. I'm going to put them together. The main reason why I'm putting pull the lever and wrong lever together is very straightforward. I don't know how competitively viable that deck is going to be. There is a deck to be made. There are plenty of cards to make this specific build of Amethyst Emerald Tempo / Toolbox work quite nicely. Until I test it for myself, it's one of those I can't put it any higher than it's alright until I've genuinely tested it. I don't think I can quite put it in mid, because I think the combination is fun by itself to become viable. But, again, don't know. It's a little bit topsy-turvy for me. There's definitely a deck to be made here. Just not 100% sure. Gonna be honest. So, they're alright. They are alright. This Bodyguard Calhoun. Not a racer. And because she's not a racer, I can't put her any higher than any other racers on the list. I think at best she's just mid. In all honesty. Yes, she quests for 2. But she's a 6 cost 4/5 quest for 2 Bodyguard. And what was her effect? Just to remind myself. When this wants me to search. Hard-nosed leader. There she is. Bodyguard. When this character is banished. Yeah. Yeah, mid. I don't think I could put her any higher than mid. She's a solid bodyguard, but for 6 cost, you would think you can get something better. Like, on curve, Chenpo, even Hey Hey Bodyguard, and Pluto Bodyguard are like the 3 best bodyguards in the entire game. at least at the moment, from what I would say. So this Calhoun's just not there. If this Calhoun was a racer, had a slightly lower stat block and a lower cost to go with her, I think she would be fantastic for racers, and even then be a splash tech in other decks that don't require racers if she stays just as an Amber. But for where she is, mid. Just very strict mid. This lady is going super nice with the other doggos. As I said, Churner dogs are eating so well, and I don't blame them. Ooh, the Madrigal girl. I'm not vibing with her. I'm just not. The problem I have with the Madrigal Singer deck is that, yes, you're going to have quite a lot of card draw. You have a lot of songs to sing, a lot of sing together songs. So I'm not saying it's not viable. It's fun and it's quirky, but I think on the top end of a competitive ladder, I don't think Amber Amethyst is going to be there yet. I think there's something about that color combination that for me needs something that could just punch, you know? It needs a little bit of flair. It needs a little bit of more substance to have dominance on that scale. But it's a little bit long-winded of an answer, I know. But I don't know. I can't vibe. I just don't see them doing that well. Clawhauser, I love as a card, but I think for the most part he's mid. Just being honest, I think he's a mid singer. Putting those stats on a singer bodyguard is weird. He obviously is there to work with Bogo, but if Bogo's mid, I think it's only fair Clawhauser is mid. The Pigeons. Oh, the Pigeons. Joey. Oh, Joey! No, not that. Not Yu-Gi-Oh! Joey, that's the wrong card game. Joey the Blue Pigeon. If you don't know where the pigeons are from, they're from Bolt, by the way. I had to re-educate myself because I've only seen Bolt like once, ages ago. When this character quests, you may remove 1 damage from each of your characters with Bodyguard. It's Bodyguard tech. Do I like it? Vibes-wise, yes. Is it viable? I'm not vibing it. For competitive, no. Just no. If you pull a bunch of bodyguards in sealed and draft, then I say, hell yeah, play this thing. But outside of that, no. It doesn't even have evasive. So in my eyes, I'm like, no. Don't think I can do it. The Donald Duck that likes the piggy bank. And let me just remind myself of the specifics on this Donald. Because vibe-wise, I love him. Outside of vibes, I don't think I can make him competitively viable. But let's have a look. 8 cost 4, 8 for 2. For each item named the nephew's piggy bank you have in play, you pay 2 less to play Donald. Then when you play this character, your other characters gain exert draw a card. It's a very interesting card. I want to build a deck around him because I love Donald and I really vibe with this tech. But again, I think it's one of those things that if we're being strict with ourselves, it's mid. At best, it's going to be mid. It's Tailwagger. Tailwagger, it's all right. It's great to see Tailwagger get reprinted so that you can carry the puppies forward. So, but I think it's all right. In Churner Dogs, you don't really need to run too many puppies. If you're doing puppy specific, you're eating grand. But competitive viability, meh. Now, Candy Drift. This card has me thinking 2 different things. Let's bring it up so we can go over it. So Candy Drift is a 2-cost action for Amber Ruby, obviously for racers. You draw a card, chosen character of yours gets +5 this turn, and at the end of your turn banish them. It synergizes with the King Candy in the same deck colors. It gives you card draw, which is essential in this color combination. And it makes it so one of your characters becomes a big F-off bopper to bop off whatever you need to bop off. I like it. And I even think outside of the racer combo, it can still be somewhat viable if you've got something crazy in mind. But I don't think... Do I think it's on the same tier as like King Candy as Super Nice? I can't put him any higher than Brilliant. I think it's a brilliant card for the racer-specific deck and helps them with their competitive viability. Outside of it, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's as essential as the King Candy. Just saying. But no, actually, no, screw it. I think it is Super Nice. I think you need it so much to make the deck work. And I'm only saying this because I've ran races in set 8 and a couple of sets prior. And we need card draw so bad in this deck and a way to bop hard. This card helps us, and you know what? Yeah, it's actually super nice. Just putting it there. Goof Trip! It's for Goofy. Now, this Goofy has the effect where at the end of your turn, you remove 1 damage off of any damage counters you have on the board. And then if damage was removed that way, they are readied at the end of your turn. It's quirky. I think it's really cool. How many characters are you going to have with damage on them in Amber? I think it's only going to be mid in the grand scheme of things. It will work alongside BOGO very well. And there's a deck to be made there. But I think in the grand scheme of things, Goofy's a bit mid. She's your person. I need to remind myself of this one. She's your person. Amber Steel. Remove up to 3 damage from chosen character, or remove up to 3 damage from each of your characters with Bodyguard. Easy. In the deck you want to build it in? Great. In general, not vibing it. Not vibing. I think there are better healing options anyway. And for 1-drop in that color scheme, it's great. But for competitive, no, I'm not vibing with it personally. Only so much room. It's quirky, but I think it's mid. Maybe a bit of a hot take on that one, but I think it's only mid. I think in Churner Dogs, there are better cards to put in that are either already here or coming in this set. I don't think Only So Much Room is the best. Sealed and Draft would probably make it work a lot better. But no, I'm not feeling it personally. It means no worries, so... Come on, search for it. It means no worries for the rest of your games. 9-cost uninkable action song sing together. Return up to 3 character cards from your discard to your hand. Pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn. Can you use it in races? Yes. Will you use it in races? Probably not. Especially like it's a sing together 9 in a deck that doesn't have singers. And even if you're playing this song in a deck that does have singers, outside of maybe the Madrigal deck where you want to sing together probably the most of the time, I don't want to say it's stinky, but I'm not vibing with it. I'm just not vibing with it. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. Trials and Tribulations. This is a 2-cost song. I like the cost of it. -4 until the start of your next turn. There's a deck that will love this. Don't know what deck it is. Maybe the Madrigal deck because of the songs. But I think it's a bit stinky. No, actually I'm not vibing it. Just not vibing it. I don't think it's rubbish, but I don't think it's great. Like, it's just there for me, you know? It's just there. Now the Ziggy Piggy. Check the Ziggy Piggy Bank. Nephew's Piggy Bank. 2-cost uninkable item. If you have a character named Donald Duck in play, you pay 1 less for this item. Exert. Chosen character gets -1 attack to the start of your next turn. It's quirky. It works with the Donald. Outside of the Donald Duck tech, do I see it being a lot of use? No. Therefore, mid. It's going to sit with the Donald at mid, because it's just a mid idea. This Palace Guard for illusions is brilliant. I think having a 1-drop illusion that's a 1/4 that can benefit off of other illusion tech is fantastic. I think he's going to be a great addition. Droon, that has like what, Challenger 4? Stinky. I just don't. I think there's way better cards in the game. Outside of him having Challenger, he's just a 1/5 cloud. I think it's a bit stinky, personally. Antonio Madrigal. Antonio. No. That's your Jaguar. There you are, friend to all. 4-cost, inkable 2/2 for 2. Once during your turn, whenever one of your characters sings a song, search your deck for a character card with cost 3 or less, reveal that card to all players, put it into the hand, and shuffle your deck. It works very well for Madrigal singers, but because it's Madrigal singer specific, not vibing. As I said, like I said with Bruno, I just think Madrigal singers by themselves don't have a lot of like big power, but heck, it doesn't mean I don't like them. Just being honest with my competitive viability standing. Mini Vamushka in Amber Ruby. I actually rate this quite high. I think she's brilliant. I think she's a brilliant addition to Amber and Ruby in general. I think she can go into quite a few decks we use for color scheme. She's a brilliant bodyguard with the ability of, for every 1 damage she has, she's 1 attack stronger. So the more damage she has, the bigger she gets. Combine her with cards like Teeth and Ambitions, and she just immediately becomes a like 2 attack, which is pretty darn nice. She's absolutely fine. I think she's a credible bodyguard and a very viable thing to play. Simple as. Ludwig von Drake. I actually really rate this Ludwig von Drake, but I think overall I think he's alright. He's better than mid. I definitely think he's better than mid, but I think he's only alright. He's in the puppy colours if you want to, but you probably don't want to run him in puppies. The colours interest me, but I don't know. Yo, top of the vanilla bracket. Finally, we have Charlotte. Hopefully, we get more Charlotte in the future. I love her from Princess of the Frog. Great character. She's great. Tiana. Now, this is the one that gives minus attack and is a singer, right? I'm not vibing her. I think as an uninkable 4-drop, I think there are going to be much better options for the inkable that are either at that same level or cheaper that would be at that range of good. Yeah, I'm just not vibing. It's not my thing. Chip is stinky. I can't believe I have to say it with... I don't understand why the Rescue Rangers are in Emerald. I know some people will think, oh, but more shift targets for the big Amber Chippendale. No, just run the Amber Chippendale lineup. Don't. I don't rate the chip. I really don't. He's overcosted for the ability that he has, and then he's only a 3/2 in Emerald. Huh? No, I don't like it. This Raya I'm not vibing with at all. I don't get it. It's another Raya card where I'm like, no, I don't think this Raya is any good. This Rapunzel I think is super nice. I think she's going to be a fantastic addition in any Emerald card that can splash her in. Mostly for Emerald Tempo decks. If you're going to be using like Pull the Lever, Wrong Lever, or just Emerald Amethyst Tempo of any kind, I think she's brilliant. Fantastic new legendary. Flynn Rider. Need to remind myself of him. Flynn. There he is. Breaking and entering. Love the artwork, by the way. Love the artwork. Quest for free. Whenever this character is challenged, challenging player may choose and discard a card. If they don't, you gain 2 lore. There's something to be said about this card. You quest for free, your opponent challenges into them. If they discard a card, this Flynn dies. If they don't discard a card because you've been discarding them well enough, this Flynn survives. And you gain 2 lore. I don't think he's awful, but I think at best he's mid. I don't think he's going to be any better than mid. Maybe it's a cheeky splash tech in some weird deck out there. In aggro decks, great. I think in aggro decks, great. But because you're also relying on discards, I can't put him any higher than mid. I just can't. Madame Medusa. I think she's mid and I'm gonna seduce her. I don't know. I don't... This weird tech with like Ruby Amethyst, I damage you and do a thing. It's... I don't know. I don't vibe with Madame Medusa. I think she's only mid at best. Hades. Need to remind myself about Hades' Ruthless Tyrant. 7 cost uninkable 3/6 for 2. When you play this character in any quest, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to draw 2 cards. Easy, mid. I think he's okay. As a top end pick, I think there are better top ends. Actually, you know what? I'm not vibing. With that logic alone, there are way better top ends for you can play with. And you don't have to rely on Hades to then get your card draw and damage your own guys. You can just bop. Especially in this color scheme. You have so many things that can just bop. I don't think you need Hades. I'm just not vibing with him. Not a Star Wing. I think it's a mid. Mid. Dealing 1 damage to something is okay. In the colour scheme, it's okay. Cost-wise, I'm a bit But she's evasive. She's evasive. And Evasive Dinker is a good one. The Floodborn Thread. I love this card for vibes, and I love this card for what it can do. Viability? I only think it's alright. I think for the 7-cost uninkable slot, there are a lot of Floodborn shift targets that are probably going to be better. The Clarabelle is just hard to say no to, right? How do you exchange out the Clarabelle for Fred? Let's be honest. But I like Fred, and I think he deserves his point here. Gadget? I believe I need to remind myself about this gadget.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. Isn't that right, Mad Cat?
Meow. Little bit of Inspector Gadget. Anyway. Quirky Scientist. Play this character if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you. Draw a card. It's basically the Hey Hey Inkwell effect, but for card draw. Quest for 2. So I think in sealed and draft formats she'll actually be pretty darn good. I'm just not vibing with her. I think it's another gadget where I'm like, that's what I'm doing. Maybe in an Inventors deck. Maybe now with plenty of Inventor tech, Inventors just have a lot more viability as a Sapphire Emerald thing they can do, but I don't know. This Abubu, the Oliphant. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant addition to Illusions. If you want to see what Abu does, I will bring him up quick because I think he's a very, very good boy. The Illusionary Pachadu, who has the effect of, it's a 6-cost 3/7 with Vanish, and whenever this character quests gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing character. This could just win you the game. If your opponent does not get rid of Abu could just win you the game. If they have an aggro boy out or anything requests for 2, 3, maybe more, Abu can just win you the game by just questing. And even if you pick something that only quests for 1, he quests for 2 every single turn as a 3/7 thick-bodied boy. I think he's solid. I think he's a brilliant addition to Illusions. Really makes Illusions an interesting deck to play with moving forward. This Bruno, I'm not vibing. I'll be very straightforward and honest with that one. Same with the other Madrigals. The Royal Guard that gains Challenger +1 for every card that you draw? Mid. I think he's better than what I would regularly perceive him to be. But I don't think he's godlike, but he's definitely up there for being a solid card. The 4-cost Cusco, not vibing, I'll be honest. I think he's just overcosted, and I would have preferred a lower cost Cusco. And I know we do have a lower cost Cusco, but he's going to be out in rotation. And even then, he's not the best card in the world. So, I don't know. I feel like I've done my boy Cusco bad. Just saying.
Meg!
Meggy stink. I don't know. Is she stinky? Let me double check. Let me double check for Meg. Megara, part of a plan. She is a 3-cost 2/5 for 1. While you have a character named Hades, you know what? She's stinky. 2. She requires a Hades? No. Just no. Just no. Yelena? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Not vibing. She quests for 2, so she's better than Stinky, but no, I'm not vibing it. Ryder is an evasive 3/4 for that. It's going to be pretty cool in sealed and draft, maybe as a counter if you want to. Combine him with a Peter Pan, give him rush. I think that's okay. I think he's mid, personally. I think Ryder's mid and probably going to be only mid. Bambi! Straight into the vanillas. And straight to the bottom. I love Poe. The fact that Poe has a card is awesome. Gonna stay in vanillas, but love to see him. Same with Mim. I think the Mim stat block's actually quite nice, but Mim. This Elsa's stinky. I'm going to be very honest. I don't think a lot of the support for Elsa and Anna's Frozen deck this time around is very good. And for competitive viability, I just think there are better options. This Pinocchio, I need to remind myself, because I feel like there is something here with the Pinocchio. But I just don't know. Is Pinocchio just down here? There he is, strings attached. I've got no strings to hold me down. It's a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Look at the key. It's Kingdom Hearts confirmed.
Shut up. Don't get me wrong. I want Kingdom Hearts, but it's not. Yeah, 4 cost Inkable 0-4 for 2 with evasive. Once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. I mean, you can ready him in a multitude of different ways. In the color scheme, you can still do it. Do you want to rely on him as your card draw? Maybe not. Is he great in aggro? I think he is. I think in aggro he'll be pretty darn solid. I think he's only mid at best. I think he's only ever mid at best. Jiminy, however, insane. I'm actually okay. Hot take on the Jiminy. I think Jiminy's cracked. And I need to explain why. Do I think Jiminy's cracked to the point where I believe he's going to be played 4 of in every deck? No. I think Jiminy's insane because he shuts down Rush, which is something we haven't seen or really played with yet. The fact that he shuts down Rush cards, if you don't know his effect, he's a 2-cost 1-1 quest for 1 with evasive, and as long as he's exerted, Rush characters come into play exerted. I need to remind myself, is it all Rush characters, or is it just opposing characters with Rush? Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's insane. I think it's a really great card. Do I think you play 4 of? No, I think he's like a 1-2 splash tech card at best. But even then, he's so good for shutting down an entire mechanic that has been quite strong in Blurple and even in elements of Ruby and Amethyst as well. Beautiful. Mwah, beautiful card. I really rate him. Bambi for aggro, yeah. Outside of that, no. Monstro is super nice. Talk about possibly the best Rush card in the deck. Amethyst have their Maui. Amethyst just have their Maui now, and don't even need Maui, potentially. Because as long as you can discard cards and ready Monstro can just body and get rid of everything on the board. It's kind of nuts. When you see Monstro on, like, anywhere on turn 8 or even before if you're playing Blurple, he will be exceptionally scary. I think he's a super nice card. Now, Nero. Here's where we start getting into some interesting territory. This is a fearsome crocodile from the Rescuers. Move 1 damage counter from this character to chosen opposing character. Being strictly honest, I think Nero is rubbish and super stinky. He's bad. As an uninkable character with damage manipulation, terrible. I don't think he's very viable. Maybe you could splash him into your deck if it's sealed and draft. Outside of that, no. I don't see it. I don't need it. The other alligator's way better, and we'll cover him when we get to him. Mystic, or Magica Dispel in shadow form. So she is an evasive 5-cost uninkable 3/3 for 2. When you play this character, you may return one of your characters to your hand to draw a card. Stinky. I think she's overcosted for what she does. Yes, she quests for 2, but sometimes you need to be strict on your quest for 2s, and I think in that color scheme you can do better. Just my opinion. The Shift Cusco. I think he's... wait a minute. I'll park him in not vibing at the moment. Park him there. I need to remind myself. Cusco Impulsive Llama. 7-cost inkable 5/5 for 2, shift 4. When you play this character, each opponent chooses one of their characters and puts that card at the bottom of their deck, and each opponent may draw a card. You know what? I think he's alright. I actually think that Cusco's alright. Because the logic is, in that color scheme, you should be able to, because it's more like tempo and toolboxy, you should be able to micromanage the cards in your opponent's hand anyway. So having this Cusco out to give you benefits on that is pretty darn awesome. So yeah, your opponent draws a card, but you take a problematic card to the bottom of their deck, get more board control out of the deal, and on top of that, you can potentially discard the card the same turn. I think that Cusco's great. He's only going to be all right at best, but pretty great. Yzma, I'm not vibing. I'm not vibing with this Yzma. Where did she go? Did she go? Did she go? Oh, there she is. She landed in Stinky. No, you're not too stinky, but I'm not vibing with her. There's something to be done with the Yzma. I don't know. Okay, hot take with Rhino Mim. I'm not vibing with her. The stat block's cool. I think with the anticipation of rotation on the horizon, and we don't have guarantees of Fox and Snake coming back, I don't think it's one of the best options. It's a shift Mim. So maybe if you played it for a shift cost, but what other Mim are you really going to bounce off of? I guess if you did like this Mim, shifted it onto a Fox or Snake that's overseen its welcome, but I don't know. I'm generally not vibing with Rhino. I think that Rhino is just not vibing at best. Same with the Mother Gothel. I just don't think of her being that good. Blue Fairy. 2-cost inkable 2/2 for 1 with evasive and support. In my opinion, possibly the best support character to date. Outside of, it wasn't Susie from last set, it was one of the other mice from Cinderella from the last set, but also has evasive and support. But in competitive, mid. Splash Tech maybe, Blurple might love it, but mid. Mid for me. Anno I'm not vibing, I'm going to be very honest with you. Anno I'm not vibing with. Just think the over-reliance on Elsa is holding her back. Okay, new big Jafar for Illusions. I think it's a fantastic card for Illusions. I think to make Illusions competitively viable, brilliant. I think it's a brilliant addition. Quest for free. His effect is that whenever he quests, you can choose to draw and discard a card. If the card that you discard is an illusion, you can instead play it onto the board for free, which is mental. Love it. Love the effect. I think it makes it a heck of a lot more viable. Camillo Madrigal, I'm personally not vibing. Just saying, I think Flower in sealed formats and limited formats, it's going to be great. Outside of that, not vibing. Just saying. I want to say that Forest Duel is mid. There's something to be done with Forest Duel, and I kind of like it, but I think it's only ever going to be mid. Then the effect of They Never Come Back. This is one I need to remind myself on. They Never Come Back. 3-cost inkable song. Action, not even a song. Up to 2 chosen. No, this is good. This is actually good. I think this song's actually good. I think it's alright. It's an alright card. It can be a game ender. It can be tempo. So if you are doing this in any sort of tempo deck and you want to micromanage the board a little bit, I think it's brilliant. Yeah, I think it's actually pretty darn solid. Madrigal card, love it to bits. Love the artwork, but not vibing. Just saying. Into the Unknown. I think it's actually insane. I think Into the Unknown is a fantastic Blurple removal. I think it will be a staple for the next block of Lorcana moving forward until obviously another set rotation rolls in. I think if you play Blurple and you're not playing Into the Unknown in any capacity, you're doing yourself a disservice. It will become a staple in that deck. Simple as. Everybody's got a weakness. I quite dig this card. Let me just bring it up. Everybody's got a weakness. I dig it. So it's a 4-cost action. You move 1 damage counter from each damage counter you have in play to chosen opposing character, and then draw a card for each damage counter moved this way. So to put it into perspective, if I have 3 characters with 1 damage on them, play this card, move all of those 1 damage to 1 specific character, maybe remove them that turn if I can, and then I draw 3 cards because I removed 3 damage that way. I think he's actually a really solid splash tech card. and is really interesting. For its viability, mid. I'll be very strict. As much as I like the card, that's personal bias. Overall, mid. Because it'll be better than nothing, let's put it that way. Scarab I like for illusions, but I think it's only mid. I don't think it's like the single greatest card that it never needs. Ice Spikes, not vibing with it, I'll just be honest with it. Another fantastic vanilla card, great to see her represented in the game. Basil. I need to remind myself about this Basil. Probably one of the best fit checks I've ever seen. Love it. Love seeing Basil just looking suave as hell. 7 cost 5/4 for 2. When you play this character, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. Whenever this character quests, chosen opponent discards a card at random. Pretty steep for discard tech. If I dare say, I actually think that Basil's stinky. I think he's too highly costed. For the 7 cost area for Emerald, it's a very tight contention with a bunch of other cards anyway. His stat block's nice, questing for 2 is nice, but all him doing on quest is discarding? And he's not even a shift? I'd rather play the shift Basil. I think the shift Basil's way better in comparison. This Tramp. I might actually need to remind myself about that Tramp. I like the Floodborn one. That's that one. Observant Guardian. When you play this character, chosen character gets ward. China Dogs may want it, but I think he's only mid. I think he's only ever going to be mid. Chaka and Tipo, they help each other out. I'm going to be very honest. I think they're both stinky. I think Chaka's stinky. No, I think like Tipo. Okay, Tipo's mid because at least he's a 2/2 for 2 with evasive. He can bop into a Diablo and get him off the board, making him way more viable. Chaka's effect, where if you have a Tipo in play and you play this character, chosen opponent gains Reckless until the end of your next turn. No, it's stinky. I'll be honest. Bill the Lizard. Bill the Lizard. Where's Ted? I want to have Bill and Ted. So bad. 1 cost incapable 1/2, while another counter in play has damage, this character gains evasive. Does he work in the Wonderland deck? Absolutely. Is he viable in the Wonderland deck? Probably not. I actually think he's quite stinky. I'm going to be very honest with you on that one. March Hare. So this March Hare does 2 damage to an already damaged character as a 4 cost. Bearing in mind we have a 3 cost that does the same but is uninkable. Now, in Wonderland, I think he's an interesting pick. But I don't think he's the best character you need in Wonderland. Personally, I'm not vibing. He's better than Stinky, and he definitely has some viability somewhere in some number in some decks. But especially since I've built the Wonderland deck and I can see where it's going and I'm loving where it's going, it's not even a great card for that, at least in my opinion. I think it's too pricey for what it really does. This Fred, removing an item, but does quest for 2. I'm not vibing, but I think it has a space somewhere. Mad Dog. Great to see some more representation of Don Carnage. So Carnage's first mate. A 4 cost inkable 4/4 for 1. You have a character named Don Carnage in play. You pay 1 less to play this character. Stinky. I'm going to be honest. I just think he's stinky. Dale, you're vanilla. Why are you an emerald? I don't know. Lewis. Very happy to see Lewis. And he's the endearing alligator. A 3 cost inkable 4/3 for 1. He enters play exerted, but then he does give a character reckless. Bit of a hot take, I think. He's mid. I think he's mid. My reason is, for a tempo deck, or for a sense of control, especially if you run this alongside like Lyle Tiberius Rourke, you bring him out of the board as a 4/3, you give a character reckless. If he's the only one exerted, they're going to have to bop in a Lewis, and if they bop in a Lewis, they're probably going to die because Lewis is a 4/3, right? So I think he's mid. He's probably not the best character in the world, and I'll be openly honest. He's going to be way better in limited formats. But he's mid for competitive. I think you can make an interesting splash tech with him. Let's put it that way. Napoleon, great to see him. You're vanilla. You go down there. Dormouse. I think Dormouse is alright. For Wonderland, it's probably one of the better cards in Wonderland. Immediately takes out Mosquito Bite from Wonderland decks, so I think he's fantastic in that regard. Overall, I think he's just alright. I don't even think he's like the best card for Wonderland, but he's alright. It's absolutely alright. This Alice, I want to put this Alice higher, but I think this Alice is mid. I'm going to be very honest. It's going to be hard to put that Alice in, especially since she's a shift. Your shift targets for Alice in that color scheme aren't the best, at least at the moment. She's mid for me. She's mid. Mr. Scoops gives you a card whenever he's banished. I'm personally... gives you card draw when he's banished, and what, it's a 3/3 for free? Yeah, I'm not vibing. I think he's better. He's not stinky, but I'm not vibing. This Queen of Hearts is alright. This Queen of Hearts is pretty alright. Don't know what that Queen of Hearts does. Quest for free, but gains additional lore if there are 5 characters on the board with damage. I think it doesn't matter whether it is your characters or not. I think it's just characters in general. Yeah, when there are 5 or more characters with damage in play, this character gets +3 lore. Turns into a quest for 5. I think she's great. Sealed and draft formats are going to love her. Wonderland's going to love her. I think she's perfectly alright, and I think she's going to make some people go, ugh, as soon as she comes onto the board. Which is a good thing. We like that. This hero, I'm not vibing with him, I'll be very honest. I think there are better 2-drops in the deck that you want to run. The Go-Go, I think is alright. I think Go-Go helps that deck pretty well, in all honesty. Don Carnage. I'm going to actually have to remind myself what the Don Carnage does, but I don't think it's a good one. He is a Emerald Steel Pirate. A 3-cost uninkable one with evasive. Whenever you play an action when this is a song, they gain... Yeah, no. No, I know what you're trying to do with the deck, but stinky. He's not one of the best pirates. I'm just going to say he's not great for the deck. This Captain Hook, however... Hello! This Captain Hook is alright. I dare say this Captain Hook's brilliant. Let me get up why. Captain Hook, the Pirate King. If I dare say, he might actually be the replacement for PP. So, once during your turn, whenever an opposing character is damaged, your pirates gain +2 attack and resist 2. Great. If you need to bop into something, you're probably not going to die from it. Anything gets +2. If all you have is a Smee and you need to bop into something, now Smee becomes a 5/3 with resist 2 and doesn't take damage at the end of turn because Captain Hook is a captain. I think he's actually pretty darn brilliant. I really dig it. Same with this Maui. I think the Maui's pretty darn brilliant as well. In Emerald and Steel, I think Emerald Steel players are going to go mad for him. I think he's going to be a very viable part of that deck. Honey Lemon, stinky. I don't think she's very good. Let me just remind myself of her effect, but I really don't think she's great. Costume Catalyst. 4 cost 3/2 when you play... no. No, because I'd rather play Muses. If I wanted this effect, I'd rather play Muses. There's the fact that you have to play a Floodborn character with their shift cost. Too many restrictions. In my eyes, I think she's stinky. But she quests for 2. I don't care if she quests for 5 million. Stinky. Jacques. Attentive Uncle. I don't remember your effect. 4 cost linkable 3/4. When you play this character, if you have 3 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. It's Churner Dog tech. I think Churner Dogs are going to love him. I think he's brilliant. No, I actually think he's alright. I don't think Churner Dogs will run a lot of him, but it's an option, so I think he's alright. Well, I tell you what, we're actually getting there with most of our card choices. This is pretty good. Archimedes. You banish an item, and whenever you banish an item, you can draw and discard a card. He's interesting. He is interesting. I think he's mid at best. As a quest for 2, sure. As card draw, sure. But yeah, I don't know. That Don Carnage cards. He who steals and runs away. He who steals and runs away. Banish chosen item draw. I'm going to be very honest. I think this is stinky card draw. I don't think it's very good. I mean, it draws you a card, and it's an action that's not a song, but it's expensive. What is up with these expensive actions in a deck that wants you to play actions and not songs? Eee! I know it's card draw, but I can't. Stopped chaos in its tracks. It's muses on steroids. Personally, I think it's mid. I don't think I can put it any higher than mid. How many characters are you going to sing together with this card? Just to make it pop off? I don't know. But it's got a place in a deck somewhere. I just personally think it's mid. Down in New Orleans. Let me have a look at this. Down in New Orleans. That's not how the song goes. Right, here we go. Down in New Orleans. 3 cards of your deck may reveal a character, item, or location cards would cost 6 or less. Play for free. Rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. There's going to be a deck that will end up using this as a song in order to get like something crazy like Tamatoa out for free. It will happen. Will it happen consistently? No. That's the dream. Personally, I'm not vibing with it. Personally, like, it's borderline mid. Borderline mid, but I can't put it in mid. Because I feel like the benefits you can get from it are so risky. And it's a 6-cost song. It's just out of a way of being viable for the 5 singers. E. No, I can't put it any more higher than E. I don't think it's much better than that. Undermine. You banish... I believe Undermine is you banish an item and then a character of yours gets +2 attack. I think it's stinky. I think it's a waste of an action slot in my opinion. Warp the Plank. Stinky. I think it's not a very good one to have. Basically, you banish a... Your characters gain Exert, banish chosen damage character. I get it. Too many uninkables in the deck already. Just no. It's not that great. Chempurse, stinky. I don't rate it. I don't think it's very good. Jeweled Collar, I actually think it's alright. There are going to be some decks that are going to love using Jeweled Collar as a way of going, go on, attack my stuff, give me ink. And I think it's good. I think it's a good option for ramp. If you're doing like Reckless Control. I think in general this may make the Reckless Control deck in Emerald Sapphire be more viable with a lot more options just by having this alone for additional ramping, but I think it's only alright at best. I don't think I can put it any higher. Gloyd. Mother Hubbing Gloyd. You play it, it takes 1 law from your opponent, gives you 1 law. It's very handy in races. Outside of races, mid. I'm going to be very honest. It's a generic ruby, so you can just splash it in anything. Sealed, you're going to love it. Like, all those, like, limited formats, you're going to love it. It's great in races, but outside of races, it's only mid. Honest John is honestly vanilla. So he's down there. Gyro stinky. I'm sorry, they do my boys so bad. I want Gyro to be brilliant. Every version of Gyro has just been, like, not great. I know it's my opinion, but not great. This Vanellope, originally I would have put Vanellope in Stinky because she's a free one. But because of the tech with King Candy and the specific deck that she'll be in, she goes up to mid. I don't think she'll be in every build of races. And I think as a free one that you could potentially give Rush to bop into a pesky evasive boy, I think it's a good splash tech in, let's say, something in like Ruby and Amethyst, for example. Only mid. I don't think I can put in Vanellope any higher than that. Brutus. Now, this is where we get to something interesting, right? Brutus Fearsome Crocodile. This could be a sleeper in this set. I know it's a common 4-cost 4-3 for 1. How can it be a sleeper? That effect. During your turn when this character is banished with one of your characters, not even other characters, it also counts for Brutus, was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. He can give you 2. All you need to do is bop and let him go. You don't even need to bop with him, you just deal damage to him. Like, I know the Madame, like, this is the card made for, like, Madame Medusa and Hades. Brutus goes into so many decks. Like, he goes into the Ruby and Steel Mulan deck. He goes into Ruby Emerald Wonderland deck. He potentially goes into Ruby Amethyst, just as another way of you to get quick, easy lore on a big bopper. I know the 4-cost slot is a bit of a highly contentious spot in that deck, but it's there. It's an option. I think for Ruby and Sapphire, he's a great pick as well. I think just because of how viable he is in multiple decks, he's actually... You know what? I'm doing it. I'm putting him in Brilliant. I'm putting him in Brilliant. Eat me, fight me in the comments, destroy me online. I think Brutus is brilliant and will be a sleeper hit this set. If not for this set specifically, if not for this set champs, keep an eye on this Brutus. This Brutus could see relevancy once rotation hits. I'm calling it. I'm making it happen. I'm digging my grave. But Dodo on the other side is stinky, let's be honest. Better cards. There are better cards. Alice. I want to like this Alice. I'm not vibing with her. I'll be very honest with you. She's again on like the borderline mid region, but it's hard to vibe with. But she does quest for 2. Let me remind myself of something. Before I finish my decision on Alice, let me remind myself. Courageous Keyholder. More Kingdom Hearts! Confirmed! She's got a key! She's a Keyblade wielder! No, it's not! Shut up! It's not Kingdom Hearts! As much as I wanted to be, it's not Kingdom Hearts. Anyway. When you play this character, you may ready chosen damage character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. Okay. In Wonderland specific, she's good. But because that's Wonderland specific, she does quest for 2. I don't think I can put her any higher than mid. Just because, and she's mostly in mid because she can quest for 2. I'll be very honest. Outside of that, I don't think she'd be very good. She's a very hyper-specific card for a hyper-specific build of a hyper-specific deck. Mid. Okay? Mid. This Lumiere, however, gains evasive as long as there is an item in your discard. I actually think he's alright. I think it's going to be relatively consistent for that to happen. He's a quest for 2 in the air. He's a good shift target for the shift. Lumiere, we'll see later on. I think he's solid. Gaston, this is a relatively new card that got revealed to me, so I don't remember what he does. So he is a 4-cost 4/4 for 1. Break in 2. When you play this character, you may banish one of your items, give chosen character +2 lore. It's interesting. I'm not vibing with him, though. I don't think he's stinky. I think there's a build of that deck that will love him. And I also think in limited formats, I think you'll love him as well, if you can get the right board in place. But not vibing. Personally, I don't think he's stinky. Not vibing. Don't know what that burp was. I'm so sorry. That came out of nowhere. Mushu gives anyone rush. As long as he exerts himself. He's alright. I dig it. Solid shift target as well for the other Mushu. I think he's really good. Quickie. I actually think Quickie is on the same level as Mushu. I think he's alright. I think he's alright in multiple different decks. I think he'll see play in some capacity. Lafayette, good to see you. Right into vanillas. Actually, sit next to Napoleon. That makes sense. Figaro, the adorable kitty. I love him, but he's stinky. I'll be honest with you. He has item removal in Ruby, but I do think he's stinky. You can hit your own items. At this stage in the game, I want to have that free bell out. In all honesty. If you're playing this in Ruby and Sapphire, you would want to play the bell for free over playing Figaro. If you're forced to play Figaro, then I'm sorry, your opponent's winning. I'm calling it. I love Figaro. He's an adorable kitty. He's stinky, okay? He's a stinky cat. Needs to wipe his bum. Thumper... Thumper I'm not vibing with. There's something you can do with Thumper. I don't see it. I love him, but I don't see it. Wreck-It Ralph, the racer that comes into play, I think he's actually brilliant. I think he's a fantastic addition to the racer deck in general. Tinkerbell. This is also a relatively new one to me, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Insistent Fairy in Ruby. 2-cost Inkable 1/1 for 1 legendary with evasive. And whenever you play a character with 5 attack or more, you may exert them to gain 2 lore. You know what? I think she's super nice. I think she's super nice. Very easy to pull off. Even if you're playing in, like, Ruby Sapphire. I think this makes Ruby Sapphire a lot more viable as well. Because it's anything 5 attack, right? Yeah, 5 attack or more. So there's quite a few targets that can benefit this, even if it's just Sisu and Maui Halfshark. And then, yeah, if you exert them on the turn they come out, that's fine. You get 2 lore for them as soon as they're out. And I mean, if it's Sisu, you're going to be questing for 2 lore anyway, so it's like a free quest with Sisu. If it's Maui Halfshark, you're gaining more lore. Yeah, I think she's solid. Absolutely solid. Great card. Great card. Super nice. Lilo! I want to like her. I want to like her and want to think that she'll be good, but 5-cost Inkable 4/4 for 2. If you played 3 or more actions this turn, you may play this character for free. That's steep. That is steep. But when you play this character, ready chosen character, can't quest rush for your turn. Just one character. Okay, I'm going to be honest. She's mid. She's mid. I don't think I could put her any higher than mid. There are some decks that will love playing with her. 3 actions just to get her out for free, and then when she comes out, she just readies 1 character? Not even 2? I'm sorry. No, mid. Just mid. LeFou the Cake Bearer. I'm not vibing you, personally, in the deck. Lumiere. Okay, I need to bring this up with the Lumiere because this is very big, because it has been corrected in the Lorcana app. It's very keen to keep in mind this. So Lumiere fired up looks busted, right? 5-cost Inkable 4/3 for 1. Shift 3 with evasive and ward with Sacre Bleu. When one of your items is banished, this character gets +1 this turn. I think it's still a fantastic effect. And in the deck is solid, but just going to check something, because I believe in the Lorcana app currently they've updated this Lumiere, and this is a reveal error and could potentially be a printer error card on release. Just bear with me whilst I check this on here. So if I do Lumiere, I'll show it on stream and see if it actually comes up, if that's the case. He's not actually on the app yet. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Really? No. No. Is he not on here? Am I blind? Is it? Where is he? Where is he? He's not on the app. What is happening? Reign of Jaffers. What is going on? Okay, bear with. This is going to be a harder search. I don't think he's on the app yet. Either that or he's been removed from the app for some reason. He's not on the app. He's been removed. What? As of the recording of this video, he's been removed from the Lorcana app. That's so weird. Probably because of the error. Because I believe he's supposed to only have evasive. I believe he's only supposed to have evasive or ward, not both. And you don't choose. I think it's... I want to say it's that he's supposed to have evasive. I think that's it. Overall, I think he's okay in the deck. I'm personally not vibing with him. I think it's a bit of a tough contention. Oh, this guy. Oh, I think he's alright. I think he's pretty alright for the Ruby Steel decks. I think he's pretty damn good. Same, Mulan's mid. I think Mulan, same level as Shang, but I think she's mid. This one is brilliant. Really do like that Mushu. I think that Mushu is going to be fantastic. Friend Owl, friendly, love the Owl. Feline. Great to see her in the game. Feline. How do I can't even spell you. But there you are. Not fell. Foul. Faline. 4 cost uninkable 2/4 for 1 evasive. When I have a counter in play with more attack than each opposing counter, this counter gets +2 lore. Interesting. It's a more expensive Flynn Rider. Not vibing, personally. I think it's better than anything else, but I'm not vibing. Ah! Vinny! Ooh! Are you ready for a hot take? He's not... Okay. He's not stinky. He's not on E rank. He's not D. He's better than alright. He's better than brilliant. He's insane. Yeah. I actually love Vinny. Look. I know, but all that his effect does is that if one of your characters gets banished by any means, you gain 1 lore. That's 1 more lore than I'm getting otherwise. So you know what? I think Vinny's great. If you got Vinny on the board and your opponent's considering doing Be Prepared, I want them to be prepared me at that rate. So I'm like, Vinny, Be Prepared me. Go on. And I just get all the lore known to mankind. It's great. I don't even need to quest. Don't even need to. I think Vinny's insane. I actually love him. Could be a future Steel staple, but that's okay. That's a little bit steep. I don't think he'll be a staple in Steel, but I think even as a splash tech, he's just so good. This Prince John, but every time I see him, just makes me go yes. I love him. Love the artwork. Love the direction he's going with. At best, he's mid. I'll be very honest. Whenever your opponent plays a character, he takes a damage, which is interesting if you want to put him in Wonderland. And no, actually, I'm not vibing. With that logic alone, no. The stat block's cool, but with the effect, yeah. Nothing we won't do. I think this is actually mid. There's something about that card that makes me want to put it in a deck somewhere, because it readies all of your guys. Let me remind myself of what it actually does, because I remember seeing this card and actually really digging it. And I want to remind myself, come on, load please. Please load. Please. Please. Oh, please load. There you go, thank you. Nothing we won't do. An 8-cost inkable action song with Sing Together, which is why I'm actually more interested in this. Ready all of your characters. For the rest of his turn, they take no damage from challenges and can't quest. You sacrifice being able to quest. But even if you use this and you Sing Together to sing with absolutely everybody, and you just use this as a way to bop, this with Mushu is insane. This in races could be insane. I actually rate this card, and I've put him in mid. I'm actually going to say it's alright. There's something about this card that makes me want to use it, and I think it's going to be viable. Even in Maui Half Shark, if all you do is quest with everybody and leave Half Shark and one other character, and you sing with Half Shark and that one other character's this card, everybody readies, they can't quest for a turn, you get 1 lore of Half Shark, you can bop into anything and take no damage, or you can just ready, sit back and just go, I win next game. Viable. Perfectly viable. I think it's alright. You know what? I'm even saying it's brilliant. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm pushing it to brilliant. There's something about that card I like. Get Out. Get Out is you banish a character and you get an item back. I think it's alright. I think it's solid. Great removal option. A little bit higher cost than Dragonfire, but it's okay. It's okay. Light the Fuse. Deal 1 damage to a character equal... Is that equal to the amount of characters you have out? with Light the Fuse. I'm going to double check. Light the Fuse. There you are. Well, lightens the fusion. There we are. 1 cost uninkable action. 1 damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. I think it's great. But I think at best, I think it's alright. I want to say it's alright. I don't think it's like the best card in the world. There you go. Twitter Paid is stinky. I think it's just not going to work out. Sword of Shang Yu. The one where you exert the item, you exert one of your characters, and you ready a character and it conquests the rest of the turn. It combines with a lot of other things that want you to be exerted. I think it's an interesting card. I want to say it's mid. I don't see it being incredible everywhere, but I think in the Mushu deck, 1 or 2 of these can do really good. We'll see. We'll see. It's definitely a play in Ruby Steel. Outside of that, not too sure. I think it's only going to be mid at best, personally. The Mouse Queen. Great to see her. No, because she's a queen, she's going to go up there with Charlotte. Sir Pellinor. Whenever he quests, give everyone support. Stinky. There's still probably, again, a great character with a great ability that gives everyone else support. Why do we have to do support so bad? Just saying, why do we have to do support so bad? He's stinky, I'm sorry. Anita, darling. What do you do? I actually can't remember. 3 cost thinkable, 3/3 in Sapphire. I'll take care of you. When you play this character, you may give a chosen puppy character resist +1 until the end of turn. Interesting. I think in the puppy deck, she's an interesting splash. I don't think you want too many. I think she's mid at best, overall. Actually, I'm not vibing. She's very specific on puppies, and even in puppies, maybe a 1-2 splash. But personally, I don't know, I'm not vibing. Olaf, it's good to see you, buddy. You're stinky. You're stinky, Olaf, and I'm going to be honest with you. Anna, you're stinky. I'm sorry, you require Elsa to pop off. I'm sorry, Wasabi. You quest for 2, but I'm just not vibing you. Probably one of the better supports in the game, but still, like limited formats, you're gonna love Wasabi. Play your Wasabi in limited formats, but I don't know. I can't make him viable. Oh, this Go-Go. This Go-Go. I need to remind myself. So this is Mechanical Engineer. Go-Go Tomago. So you are a 2 cost thinkable 1/3 for 1. When you play a Floodborn character on this card, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down exerted. I think she's mid. I think that's a solid mid character to have. I think it's fine. Obviously, you're only running her in decks that have Floodborns. But if you're running low on your ramping, I think that's a viable option. Maybe not fully. I think the Emerald Go-Go's better. But I think she's okay. The Wardrobe, where you exert her, banish a chosen item, and you draw 2 cards. It's Flavisham, returning from the dead. She's alright. She's alright. Dex will run her, and she's okay. Miss Potts, aka the baby Flavisham. I'm not vibing. I don't think she'll be too great. 1-drop Jasmine? I like her, but I think she's stinky. She gives another character resist +1 on entry, which sounds good. But in the deck that you want to run her in, I don't see the viability. Especially since it'll be very ally specific. I don't know. Little sister, not vibing. No, stinky. She's just straight for the stink. We have... Oh, I love her artwork though, but she's going to be just in the vanillas. Nani? I want to say this Nani is mid. But I need to double check what she does. Because there's something about this Nani that makes me happy. She does give Lilo support. I do believe. Yes, all of Lilo's gain support. And then you exert her. Another chosen character gains resist +2 this turn. There's a deck that's going to love her. And there's a hero deck that I think will love her as well, because she classes as a hero, which I think is actually great for that kind of deck. Outside of that, mid at best. Yeah, I think mid's a perfectly fine place for her. The Stitch, right. I'm going to be honest, folks. I've been very honest with this on TikTok and my short form when this card got revealed. I'm going to be very honest with you guys now. I don't see it. I do not see it. I don't think he's stinky. I think putting him in stinky is a push. I'm not vibing the Stitch. I think he's just... What? You can play him for free. I know you can. That's okay. But then he comes into play exerted like the Amber Lilo, and because you played him, your opponent gets ink into their inkwell from the top of their deck. I know your logic probably is, oh, but it screws over their next turn if they set up their deck. It gives them ink. They won't care. They gain ink. It's in their inkwell. They're going to benefit off of this card. I don't see it. I'm not vibing with it. I like the artwork, and the enchanted artwork's pretty cool, but yeah. No vibes. Ratigan stinky. As much as I want him to quest for 4, the fact you have to banish an item every turn is... Youch. Now, this Arthur I rate quite highly. This Arthur I think is super nice. Allow me to explain why. So this Arthur, let me actually bring him up on screen whilst we're talking about him, because I think this is a very viable card to talk about. So this is Arthur Determined Squire, a 4-cost inkable 6/6 for free, which is mad, by the way, mad, and has the effect, skip your turn's draw step. It's not a problem. I don't think you run this in Sapphire Steel Allies, you run this in Sapphire Steel Heroes. This for me makes me want to rebuild Sapphire Steel Heroes, because this card is perfectly fine. You don't even need to worry about your draw step. There are other cards that can help you draw cards. If you're willing to take the risk, the rewards are surmountable. He's a 6/6 for quest for free every turn, and it doesn't matter if you don't have your initial draw step. I think he's perfectly fine. I think he's super nice and helps a bunch of decks work. I actually rate him so highly, that's why he's A rank for me. Personally, I think he's just really good. Bernard, this is a fantastic card for allies. I think he's alright. I think he's definitely alright just to help that specific deck work better. This Aladdin I rate quite nicely. He's definitely mid, because he's very reliant on allies, and quite frankly, even though he heals himself, is still a 1/9. And a 1/9 bodyguard, what you gonna do? Mid, in my opinion. Not terrible, but mid. This Jasmine, I think she's actually alright because she's a searcher for allies. So I think she's better than the Aladdin and Jafar. Roquefort. Bring him up. Bring him up. So, Aristocats is a film that I enjoy. Roquefort's my boy. Am I going to be biased in this? I'm going to try my best not to be. I'm going to be very honest. Chosen item into its player's inkwell face down and exerted. It can help you if you're struggling. It can devastate your opponent if they're relying on very specific items. I want to say this Roquefort is actually brilliant. Don't think he's super nice. I don't think he's going to be put in every deck known to mankind, but as a splash tech against items where you're able to put an item into the inkwell whenever he quests, great. Great ally for the ally deck. I just think he's just great. I think he's great, okay? I think he's just super solid. In and out of the ally deck, he's just good. Jumba's stinky, but he's a vanilla stinky. Oh, they do my boy so bad. Geppetto. Now, if I'm right in saying, I think I did not like this Geppetto. 5-cost inkable 4/4 for 2. Searching for inspiration. When this character quests, you may discard as many item cards as you like. Gain 1 lore for each item card discarded this way. You maybe play this as a one-of, and you only ever play this Geppetto if you have everything you need in your hand to just win the game. As a game ender, Geppetto's cool. As an actual viable part of your strategy, mid. I can't put him any higher than mid. I can't say I'm not vibing with him because I can see the logic. But he's mid. He is mid. Heads held back. I'm not vibing with it. I'm really not vibing with that one. Now, pouncing practice. Pouncing practice I actually think is alright. It's probably one of the best Sapphire attack reduction cards that we have. And I think it's okay. I think it's absolutely okay. Television set is great for puppies. Outside of that, it's mid. Belle's favorite book. I believe that's discard an item and you do things. Belle's favorite book. What do you do? Sorry if I've been touching my nose a lot, by the way. It's hay fever season. What can I say? 3 cost uninkable item. Exert, banish one of your other items. Put the top card of your deck into it. Stinky. Stinky item is stinky. I don't see it. I really don't. Atlantean Crystal? Is that the one that gives resist or support? Oh, it's right there. Sorry, that's me being a dumb. Atlantean Crystal is resist +2 and support. It's not the worst support card. It's a decent support card, but I'm not vibing with it. Its viability is not great still, but it's one of the better support cards. You're vanilla, but you're vanilla 7/7 for free. Interesting. Bobby as a 4/2 bodyguard. I think he's alright. Very specific in very specific decks when you need a bodyguard to pretty much just get wrecked straight away. Combine him with Vinny, and I think Vinny and Bobby together are pretty darn great. But as a bodyguard in bodyguard tech, I would maybe... No, you know what? No, he's mid. No. I'm flip-flopping with him. No, I think he's alright. There's a reason why I'm going to say he's alright. As a 4/2 bodyguard on turn 3, he pretty much annihilates anything that's going to come down the turn after. If you have to dash into Bobby, you're going to hate it. So you know what? For that logic, I think he's better than mid. But only just. Only just better than mid. This Magic Carpet I do highly rate for illusions. I think it's a brilliant tech for illusions. Questing for 2 as well. Fantastic card. No one remembers Ahmed. He's stinky. But I do love him. I love Prince Ahmed has a card. He only exerts princesses. It's not great. Dump Truck. In there for one of the greatest named cards in the game. Stinky. I can't think of ever... I'm not... You know what? I'll put him in not vibing. I'll explain why. Dealing 1 damage on turn 1 is a worse off Fire Cannons. But it's a character. It counts as an ally, so you can run it in ally decks. Counts as a pirate, so you can put him in pirate decks. And gets... It's on curve against aggro. It's only against very, very, very specific decks. But even then, because it's somewhat viable, that's why I'm just simply not vibing with him. He's not stinky, but he's not the best. Great to see the reprint of one of the best steel 1-drops. Super nice. 1-drop. Captain Hook. Challenger 2. Solid card. General Lee. I'm not vibing. I think he's okay. He's just there. Monterey Jack as a bodyguard. Mid. I think in comparison to Bobby, he's a mid bodyguard. But yet again, he's got a great stat block. And he does quest for 2. No, you know what? I think he's on the same level, actually. I think he's on the same level, but for different reasons. Higher cost, higher lore count, better body. Works very well with the new Zip, which is over here. Yeah. He's going to stay there. He's absolutely going to stay there. Yeah. Toby the Turtle. For vibes and how beautifully accurate it is, I love him. He's stinky, I have to say. Ariana Grande? Sadly, no. But you are vanilla. Zippity Zip Zip. If you, I believe if you have an ally, it does things. Flying Ranger. It's gonna be very good in a Amber Steel Rescue Rangers if you want the vibes. If you have a character named Monterey Jack in play, you pay one less. Yes, that's the only thing. During your turn, this character gains evasive. I think he's fine. I think he's absolutely fine. You know what? I think he's actually pretty good as an evasive. I'm going to put him alongside Monterey Jack in It's Alright. He's alright. As an evasive that can tackle into something and do it, that's great. Khan! You're vanilla. I can't take you any higher. Nitroglycerin, TNT. I like Vincent. What was Vincent's effect, though? Because he's very high. Like, I mean, he's 7 cost. 7 cost Inkball, 2/8 quest for free. When you play this character, you may deal 3 damage to chosen character. It's smash on a character, and he's probably going to get smashed off of a board as a result. Not vibing. There's a deck that's going to love him. Not my deck. Just saying. Now, this Namari, I need to remind myself, but I think this Namari might actually be the best Namari we've had in the game so far. 5 cost Inkball 0/5 for 2. When you play this character and at the start of your turn, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. This card gets +1 attack for each card in your discard. Very easy, very nice, very beautiful. I think this card is insane. Absolutely insane. You're telling me for 5 costs I can put this down, and even if it's on curve, I've maybe discarded a couple of cards, I've maybe lost a couple of cards. Any card in your discard makes her powerful. She is just a perpetual climber. Put her in Ruby Steel, and with the new Tinkerbell as well, she synergizes with that new Tinkerbell beautifully. So when she comes into play, if she comes into play with more than 5, Tinkerbell. I think the Tinkerbell would trigger off of her. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but love the card. Love it, love it, love it. I think it's actually nuts. Next. Oh, our last stretch. Huge Mickey Mouse. Not vibing, but I love how huge he is. Simple as. This Stitch actually is super nice. Again, having the Calhoun effect, but on an alien and on something that's bigger than a Calhoun as well, is going to work fantastic in Ruby Steel. I think Ruby Steel is going to be a fantastic combo moving into Reign of Jafar set champs. Desperate Plan, I actually think Desperate Chan... Desperate Chan! No! It's just... Why have I just got the image of Jackie Chan being so desperate? Oh no! Desperate Chan! Don't make fun of me in the comments, please! Why? Why did my voice come out with Desperate Chan? I'm so sorry. No, Desperate Plan. Get back in the zone. Desperate Plan. Oh, if you have no cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards. Otherwise, choose and discard. It's great. It's a doc in action form. Doc's great. Do I need to say anything more about this? Brilliant. Brilliant card. It deserves to be in super nice. Absolutely. Desperate Chan. This Iago, I'm going to be honest, I think Iago's stinky. He does quest for 2. Let me just remind myself, actually. The Iago is here, out of reach. Is he really that bad? This is the D20 promo card. Why you have another exerted character in play if this character can't be challenged? Okay, maybe not too stinky, I'm just not vibing. Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Captain Nathaniel Flint. I think in Pirates, he's probably one of the best pirates, but outside of that... No, I think he's alright. You could probably play him outside of Pirates as well. Actually, can you? Can you? Remind me of Nathaniel Flint. I think he's pirate specific. No, you can't play this character unless an opposing character was damaged this turn. That's fine. That's fine. I think he's an absolutely perfectly fine card. Perfectly fine card. I think he deserves to be in C. great addition to Pirates. Would definitely help that. And even outside of Pirates, damage a guy, play him out for free? No, not even for free, but just being able to play him out normally. He's great. A free request for 2? He's basically a Smee that doesn't take damage every turn. Just saying. Just saying. I like it. Beyond the Horizon. Why a roller coaster ride. Oh, I like the song, okay. 7 cost uninkable, sing together. Any number of players, they discard their hands and draw 3 cards each. Oh yeah, this was the card where when it got revealed, if you showed me this card early on, I would have just gone, you know what, is this even... Like, I'd probably put it in E for not vibing. Now that I understand how good it is, put it under Brilliant. I don't think it's as good as Desperate Plan, but I think in the right deck, it's going to be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We have Quick Shot, Stinky. I don't like Quick Shot at all. Hamster Ball, Stinky, don't like it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Dragon Genie, that gains evasive on your turn. I actually think he's alright. Perfectly viable, evasive boy. On curve, very good. Can be put into a multitude of different decks. Absolutely fine. I think he's a really good card. And finally, Illusion Sultan. I need to remind myself about Illusion Sultan because I don't think he's great. Even in Illusions, I don't think he's great. 5 cost uninkable 5/5 for 2 with Vanish. He does count as an illusion himself. Whenever one of your illusion characters quests, exert chosen opposing character. It doesn't even stop them from readying until the start of your next turn, it just exerts them. Okay, I'm borderline thinking Stinky here. I don't think I can put him in Stinky because he does class as an illusion. He does quest for 2. He works off of Jafar tech, but that's a lot of uninkables in the deck so far. Okay, you know what? I'm not vibing. I'm just not vibing with that Sultan. I think out of all of the illusions, he's probably one of the weaker ones. But that's it. That's our list. Wow. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can get a bigger picture. Whoa. Okay. A lot of cards that are stinky and not vibing, but quite a lot in the mid-range, and the It's Alright range, that I'm quite happy with. Brilliant, Super Nice, and Insane are very much more tight, I think, rather than the last list I did for Arcasia's Island. But very good, there's my list. There it is. I will save a copy of this and post it up on my socials so you can roast me later. Absolutely. But I like it. I'm actually looking forward to this set. I think there are quite a few cards I am interested in, and a lot of quirky decks that I'm interested in. But outside of the quirky, I feel like the competitive side of this deck is going to be interesting. It's going to be more interesting after set rotation, let's say that. But as for right now, bearing in mind we're still going to have access to the first 1 year block, I think this is a very honest opinion on where I think things are with the cards. I quite like it, and I hope you like this too. So did you play along with me? Do you like my takes? Do you not like my takes? Do you think I'm as stinky as the pile of stinky cards? Let me know your thoughts on this tier list, as well as where you would place certain cards, down in the comments section below. While you're down there, check out my descriptions for my other social links, including the Discord server or my Blue Sky, where I'm a lot more active and I can chat with you guys directly. And while you're down there, subscribe, like the video, share with a friend, and give them the tools to make their own tier list of set 8. Can't wait for it. Woohoo. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this, and I'll be seeing you on the next Lorcana video. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, but most importantly, stay explosive, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Another tier list down. Hopefully this one's better than the last one. Hopefully I've been better than the last one. I don't know. I'm expecting comments of people saying stinky. Chan? Why did I say Chan?